Welcome back. Over the last 18 seasons, I probably sat down Adam Wainwright 25 times for interviews, and he never disappointed. One of my all-time favorites. I'm not saying this interview will be our last, but it will be his last as a player. We met in the dugout for our Sunday conversation. Give me one person you've heard from after number 200 or something in the last couple of days that you were surprised to hear from and you thought, wow, this means a lot to me.
Yeah. I heard from Johnny Bench, who didn't even have my number, that went out of his way to get it and then to call me and text me. And I thought, you know what, that is that's really neat. You know, a legend, one of the best to ever play this game, reached out to me.
So you're a little bit like Michael Jordan in that you lived off slights. And if you felt somebody doubted you, you really wanted to stick it to them. I'm wondering, was the best one was when the Braves left you off the roster at the end of the season and they brought up other prospects?
Yeah, that was one of the things. You know, that was the thing. I thought, I heard I might get called up, and then I didn't. Other prospects go up. But also, you know, I was traded because they thought I'd never make it. They thought I would kind of teeter out in AAA. And I was sent down from this team, from the Cardinals in 2005. I was sent down and left off the playoff roster, which was, I mean, I was not expecting to be on the playoff roster, but the way I was sent down and told that I wasn't, you know, good enough, which was correct, by the way. All those things kind of added up. I used those, you know, and I use all of them. Like you said, I have used slights. I've even used imaginary slights where I go into a game and I'm thinking, you know what, all these people think I'm too old, you know, or the media is just writing stories right now about how I'm not good enough anymore, and nobody might have even been thinking that, you know, and I use stuff like that all the time.
The Yachty relationship, I don't care how good it was, even if you're madly in love with your spouse, you're going to have bad moments. Give me a bad moment between you and Yachty.
One moment, I wouldn't call it a bad moment, a learning moment, teaching moment for me. In AAA, you know, I went out there, I hadn't been pitching very well, and I went out there and I was shaking him off every pitch, and I was giving up hit, walk, hit, and hard hit out, you know, like it was just a lot of bad stuff in a row. And we came into the dugout and I said, Yachty, where was that pitch? Because the guy just hit a double. And he said, same place all of them were, down the middle, you know, and it's not the right pitch. And he pulled me aside and he said, hey, you need to trust me. He said, right now you're not pitching good, and you need to trust me. When you're pitching well, you want to call your own pitches, whatever, but when you're not, you need to rely on me because I know what your stuff is better than you do.
Albert admitted on his retirement day that there was a time, because it was so rough, that he thought about quitting. Was there ever a time this season where you thought about it?
Yeah, several times. Just I'm not a very good quitter, you know, not a very good quitter, and sometimes that makes it even worse for me. I had moments though, you know, when you're pitching bad and you're hurt and injured and everything's hurting, everything's going bad, you know, little bloops and home runs and all kinds of bad stuff. When that's all happening, your natural tendency is to say, I need to hang them up. And you know what? There's probably times where I probably could have and should have, but I'm so glad I didn't. So glad we got to the end of it. And I literally left everything I have out there. You know, I can barely throw a ball right now. So I think I won the last game I could have won.
Victory number 200 kind of reminded me of the Kevin Costner For Love of the Game, where an older pitcher somehow gutting it out. And I'm wondering what your body is like now and what type of surgeries you will face in the near future.
Oh, we don't know yet. I haven't got evaluated, but I'll do that after the season. I'll go in and get some MRIs. I mean, my low back is not great and my shoulder is not great. So we'll see though. I don't know how that got written, that I was already having surgeries, you know, planned out, but that's not the case yet. But there's always a possibility of that when you get to my age and you play as long as I have and throw as many balls as I have. There's always a possibility, but we'll wait and see.
When you walk off the field tomorrow for the final time, how would you like to be remembered by these St. Louis fans?
Well, I don't know. I mean, all I can do is be me, you know, and I put my heart on my sleeve out there on the field and left everything I had out there. you know, I tried to be a good person, a good teammate, good friend, and a good Cardinals player through the years. So hopefully I represented the team well, and hopefully they remember me as a guy who helped carry on our great traditions here, and you know, and yeah.